Goring wakes inside a brutalist concrete cell marked 48. There is only a bed, a sink, and a gaping chasm in the center that his cellmate calls the pit. This vertical hell stacks hundreds of floors deep, trapping two inmates per level under false names assigned by the management. Daily, a floating concrete platform descends through the shaft, pausing for just 2 minutes, leaving the lower levels to fight over disgusting scraps. At month's end, a knockout gas floods the cells, shuffling prisoners to random new floors. Witnessing the feast for the first time, Goring refuses to gorge himself, desperate to preserve food for the starving souls below. Trimagasi, his cynical roommate, spits in disgust and scoffs. Goring pockets a single apple, but instantly triggers the tower's lethal security system. The cell rapidly heats to a furnace, forcing him to discard the fruit or roast alive. Flashbacks reveal his interview. He traded 6 months of his life for a degree, bringing only one allowed personal item, a copy of Don Quixote. Trimagasi reveals his dark past. He bought a self-sharpening knife, threw his TV out the window in a blind rage when a newer model debuted, and accidentally crushed a pedestrian. Given a choice between an asylum or the pit, he chose this concrete cage. He admits he's sunk to level 132, warning Goring that a single month at those depths is a death sentence, and back-to-back bad floors mean game over. Goring screams into the void, begging upper floors to ration, but his pleas are ignored. Trimagasi answers by urinating down the shaft, proudly brandishing his allowed item, that same lethal TV knife. Suddenly, a blood-soaked woman named Miharu rides the platform down. Silent and predatory, Trimagasi explains she descends monthly searching for her lost child, butchering anyone in her path. When lower-level scavengers ambush her, Miharu snaps, slaughtering them instantly before descending deeper into the abyss. End of the month. The gas hits. Goring wakes immobilized, bound tightly to his bunk on level 171. Trimagasi calmly explains he tied him up because youth beats old age in a fair fight. Agonizing screams echo through the shaft as prisoners realize their fates. When the platform stops at 171, it's licked bone dry. After 8 days of starvation, Trimagasi brings out his blade, announcing he will harvest flesh from Goring's thigh to keep them both alive. Bound and bleeding, Goring fights for his life until Miharu drops from the ceiling, ambushing Trimagasi and freeing the young man. Goring brutally executes his captor. Miharu tends his wounds, feeds him raw meat, and rides the platform down. Haunted by hallucinations of Trimagasi's voice, Goring survives alongside the rotting, worm-infested corpse. The next shuffle pairs him with Imagiri, the very official who interviewed him. She reveals she is terminally ill and genuinely believed this social experiment would breed human solidarity. Stuck on level 33, she tries playing savior, prepping measured rations and screaming orders down the hole, but the lower levels mock her. While Imagiri insists administration policy bans children, Goring knows the system lies. Imagiri sacrifices her own food, nourishing her dog and preparing 2 daily portions. Impatient with the defiance below, Goring threatens to defile the feast if they don't comply. The psychological warfare works, forcing compliance down the line. Miharu returns unconscious. They nurse her back to health, but she repays them by slaughtering and eating Imagiri's dog. The despair breaks Imagiri. After the next shuffle drops them into the dark depths, she hangs herself from the ceiling. Prompted by the phantoms of his past, hunger breaks Goring's morality, and he consumes her flesh. Waking on level 6, Goring finds Bahara, a man armed with a rope trying to scale his way out. Bahara casts his line upward, but the elite above humiliate him. One inmate literally defecates on his face, sending him crashing down. The platform arrives, accompanied by mocking jeers from level 5. With the ghosts of his past torturing his psyche, the proximity to freedom ignites a fire inside Goring. He convinces Bahara to forge weapons from bed frames and hijack the platform, enforcing rationing at the point of a blade. Calculating the descent timing, Goring estimates 250 floors, planning to start distribution at level 50. Riding the slab down, they brutalize anyone touching the food, declaring the elites above will finally be forced to share. They cascade through the darkness. Rambang, a wise elder, blesses their crusade but warns that management is blind. Their message must target the creators at level 0. They select an pristine Panakata as their untouched symbol of resilience. By level 50, orderly distribution earns them genuine gratitude. But on level 97, they encounter a dying man and a feral boy who coldly admits he will cannibalize the elder. Deeper still, they find only silent, corpse-filled cells. The tower is vastly deeper than calculated. They stop as two men brutally assault Miharu. Goreng and Bahara intervene, butchering the attackers, but Miharu dies in the chaos. There is no time to mourn. They push forward, passing rows of empty cells and rotting carcasses. Finally, the platform bottoms out at level 333. Tucked beneath a bed, they discover a healthy, hidden child, Molly, Miharu's daughter, the ultimate proof the administration lied. As they step off, the platform prepares to plunge into the final void. Goreng tries to protect the message, but Bahara refuses, feeding the Panakata to the starving girl. They watch the shadows close in as their ghosts circle. Bahara bleeds out overnight. When the platform grounds at the absolute bottom, it is pitch black. Trimagesi's ghost appears, whispering that the message doesn't need a messenger. Goreng steps into the dark mechanical abyss, bleeding out, choosing to die in the shadows so the girl can ascend to the light as a living indictment of the system.